Here's the scary part. By 2030, England could genuinely have the best attack in world football. There's just one problem. One position that could stop this team from ever winning a World Cup. After England's 2026 squad announcement, that sounds even more relevant. No Palmer, no Foden, no Trent. Thomas Tuchel has basically turned himself into England's public enemy number one. So, this is my prediction for England's 2030 World Cup squad in a 4-2-3-1 system. In goal, James Trafford. England finally gets their modern number one. By 2030, he should be right in his prime, calm on the ball, confident under pressure, and modern enough to help England play out from the back properly. Basically everything England has wanted from a goalkeeper for years. Behind him, Aaron Ramsdale. Probably the perfect backup goalkeeper. Experienced, reliable, and still good enough to play the exact same football if Trafford gets injured or needs rest. And then James Beadle. Still young, still developing, but definitely one to watch. At right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold. And yes, I know, England somehow always finds ways to make Trent controversial. But by 2030, this should be a no-brainer. Technically elite, unbelievable passing range, creativity from deep, and enough experience by then to completely control games. Backing him up, Reece James. If injuries finally stop ruining his career, this is the perfect tournament player. Experienced, versatile, and someone who can cover multiple roles without lowering the level. At centre-back, I actually really like this partnership. Mark Guehi and Levi Colwill. Guehi brings calmness, tactical discipline, and strong defending. Not flashy, just reliable. The kind of defender every good tournament team quietly needs. Next to him, Levi Colwill. And honestly, I think he could become one of England's most important defenders. Strong physically, excellent on the ball, and importantly, left-footed. That balance matters, especially if England want to dominate possession. On the bench, Archie Gray. And yes, centre-back, not midfield, not right-back, centre-back. His tactical discipline, physical profile, and football IQ make him incredibly interesting there long-term. And then Jarrad Branthwaite. For when England needs something different, more physicality, more aggression, more chaos for opposing strikers. A modern centre-back who can defend brutally while still helping build from the back. At left-back, Miles Lewis-Skelly. Honestly, this kid just looks like the future. Technically ridiculous, athletic, aggressive, smart. By 23, he could genuinely be one of the best left-backs in world football. Everything you want from a modern fullback: fast runs, good positioning, and the intelligence to constantly support attacks. Behind him, Nico O'Reilly. A really interesting profile. Tall, physical, technically strong, and surprisingly press-resistant. Not the flashy option, but one that could quietly become incredibly valuable. And then there's Tino Livramento. The ultimate defensive wildcard, can play both sides, brings pace, energy, and tactical flexibility. Exactly the type of player managers love taking to World Cups. Now the midfield, and I actually think this partnership works really well. Declan Rice and Elliot Anderson. Rice will be 31. Basically the perfect age for a midfield leader. Still physically dominant, still covering ridiculous amounts of ground. The star who somehow never feels like a superstar, but becomes absolutely essential once he's missing. And next to him, Elliot Anderson. Maybe one of the more controversial picks, but his profile is just incredibly modern. Pressing, dribbling, intensity, vertical passing. The type of midfielder who constantly pushes play forward instead of slowing everything down. Behind them, Adam Wharton. One of England's smartest midfielders. A proper deep playmaker, calm under pressure, excellent vision, and someone who can completely control tempo. Then Kobbie Mainoo. Still absurdly talented. But by 2030, I actually think he becomes more of a rotational option than an automatic starter. And yes, I know people will hate that take. And finally, Curtis Jones. Reliable, hard-working, tactically intelligent. Maybe not flashy enough to dominate headlines, but perfect for squad balance. On the right wing, Bukayo Saka. Still England's biggest star. And honestly, probably even better by 2030. Fast, clinical, creative, team-oriented. By then, he should be one of the best players in world football. No excuses anymore. Behind him, Ethan Nwaneri, the Crown Prince. Honestly, he's still incredibly young for a 2030 prediction. By then, he could either just be breaking into the squad or already be far beyond that. I could absolutely see him developing into a starter himself. Just maybe not on the right wing, more likely on the opposite side, where his profile could become even more dangerous. At attacking midfield, Jude Bellingham. And yes, I'm saying this carefully because right now, Jude sometimes looks more interested in being the main character than actually controlling games. At Real Madrid, the football is elite. The drama sometimes is too, less diva, more football, and he genuinely has everything to dominate an era: talent, leadership, physicality, technical quality. If he focuses on football first, he could become the face of England for the next decade. On the bench, Phil Foden. And this one will annoy people, but somehow, with England, Foden always feels like the eternal talent. Brilliant technically, capable of magic, but rarely consistent enough internationally to build the entire system around him. Perfect luxury option off the bench, can change games instantly. On the left, Cole Palmer. Leaving him out in 2026 already feels insane. By 2030, there should be absolutely no way around him. Elite technique, elite finishing, elite football IQ. Players like this don't sit at home during World Cups. Simple as that. Behind him, Jamie Gittins. Still another huge talent. Fast, direct, dangerous in transitions. Maybe never a massive goal scorer, but absolutely the type of player who destroys tired defenders late in games. And now the position that could decide whether this England team actually wins a World Cup. Striker. This is England's biggest problem, because everywhere else the talent is ridiculous. But here, there still isn't a clear answer. So I went with Marcus Rashford. And yes, not a traditional striker. That's exactly the issue. By 32, I could absolutely see him moving more centrally, using his pace and movement rather than constantly playing wide. Especially with someone like Bellingham attacking spaces around him. Rashford stretching the defense, Jude arriving late, Palmer creating chances. That could actually work really well. But if England fail again in 2030, this is probably the position people will point to first. Behind him, Jay Robinson. A very interesting long-term option. Direct, fearless, aggressive, can play centrally or wide. Good movement, good decision-making. And maybe most importantly, no fear of taking defenders on. Exactly the type of modern attacker England need more of. And finally, Morgan Rogers. Because tournament football always needs chaos. Versatile, physical, can play multiple attacking roles. And exactly the type of player you throw on when nothing is working. So, that's my England squad for the 2030 World Cup. After everything happening around England right now, maybe the future looks a lot better than people think. But what would you change? Who is completely wrong? And who did I forget?